Real people, real stories, real f***ing life. The Relentless Project. And now, your host, the man on a mission to ignite your inner fire, Ish Lopez. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be inspired.
All right, dude, I appreciate you for coming, man. This was supposed to be like low-key people, and you're pretty high-key in the area, so I appreciate you for coming and giving me some time. Man. I know we talked about it a little early, but how did Pan Ams go? You said you were doing a little traveling and competing. How was that?
It was good. I took third. Lost in the semis. It was 2-4. Didn't do really anything really good. Just didn't do anything. Didn't make any mistakes either. Just gotta kind of develop some of my game and change up how I approach it a little bit. So at least I got to learn from that. I wanted to win again, but can't win them all, I guess.
Hey, they're making it. Even competing at that level is pretty impressive. What do you say? Do you say what was your preparation for going there, or are you just like you think you were ready and you just decided to go, or is this something you prepared for?
Yeah, no, I prepared for it. So I won last year, and so that's why I wanted to win again. But I mean, I want to win all the time.
Yeah,
but
I always want to win. Yeah, absolutely.
But I have a really busy like October overall. Like next weekend I go to the ADCC trials in New Jersey, and then 5 days later I go to Saudi Arabia for the USA grappling team. So
Bro,
I've been
I'm getting you at the cusp.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay, you still fit in there. You still local, hometown hero. No, that's dope, bro. What are you looking forward to for the USA team? Like what are some things you're looking to take out from that?
So I went to Poland with them at the end of August, and I lost to the defending world champ. It was tied 2-2. I lost on criteria points, and so I learned. It was the first time in that rule set in that environment. So I just kind of took from there. I started off real slow, and I could have prepared a little bit better in my warm-up that morning, what I ate and everything like that. So little small mistakes like that to fix, and I'm just looking to go over there and win that one as well.
Dude, we're about to be watching you. No pressure. That's dope, man. What got you into I was talking with Devin a while ago, a couple weeks ago, and the fight scene has blown up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like it has blown up. And then jiu-jitsu's taken over, wrestling's taken over. Like
wrestling's always taken over.
Wrestling's always been American. Yeah, it's always been the American sport. But like growing up, I wasn't around many wrestlers. And then I come down here and it's just like everyone wrestles or everyone does jiu-jitsu. Like what caused you to like one, get into jiu-jitsu, and then two, take it to the because I do jiu-jitsu, but I don't compete worldwide. Not that I'm good enough anyway, but if I was, I don't know if that's something I would be able to break into. Like, how were you able to break into that scene?
So I actually started wrestling about 4 blocks away from here at Quigley High School. I was going to Good Samaritan down in Ambridge, and you couldn't play basketball until you were in 4th grade. And then they dropped off all these flyers. I think I was in 1st grade. I was 7, whatever grade you are when you're 7.
Yeah.
And we took it home, and I wanted to start wrestling because I wanted to play sports. And so I started wrestling, and Mike Fitzpatrick was my coach then, and his kids were around the same age as me, Michael and David. Michael was a year younger than me. David was a little bit younger than that, and he was with us the entire time, all the way up from youth all the way up through high school. So I was really lucky to have him as a coach my entire life, and I got to like work for his construction company during the summer and everything like that. And then I took 2nd at States my senior year, so I got a scholarship to Pitt Johnstown. And so I was wrestling up there, and there's a guy, his name's Carlton Hasselrig, and he was a 6-time national champ. He beat Kurt Angle in college and everything, and then he got drafted by
Pre-broken neck?
Pre-broken
neck. Damn, that's crazy.
Kurt actually redshirted his junior year because he wanted to win a national title, and he knew he couldn't beat Carlton for that national title. So that's why he redshirted.
I'm just the host. No shots. No, that's dope though. That's crazy.
And then he got drafted by the Steelers, played for the Steelers, went to the Pro Bowl, everything like that. And my coach, Coach Pecora, was like, "Hey, Carlton's fighting, and he needs somebody to work out with. Do you want to work out with him?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, is that even a question?
Yeah, sure.
Like, this guy's a legend. Of course I want to. And me and him hit it off, and I started training with him. Like, I'd go to wrestling practice, leave wrestling at like 6, and go down to downtown Johnstown, and I would work out with him. And as soon as I was a month and a half after my senior year of nationals. Like, I was still in school, I think, and I had my first amateur fight, and kind of just fell in love with it and went down that path, and now here I am.
How was your first amateur fight? Before we get into all the good stuff, how was that?
I fought this guy, and I was fighting at heavyweight still at that point.
What weight were you at, if you remember?
So I wrestled at 285, but the fight was at 265.
Damn, that was
yeah,
thicker than your Thanksgiving turkey, bro.
I was a big boy. If when I showed people pictures of me when I was in college for wrestling, and they're like, "That's not even the same person."
I get that same effect, but the opposite. When I was like amateur fighting, I was $140 between 130 and 140, and then now I weigh 230. Like, that's not you. I'm like, that's me. Unfortunately,
yeah, I get the exact opposite. So the guy I fought, he was a boxer from New York, and he was like 6'6", 6'7", something like that. And so I double legged him, and I took him down, and I was like in side control, and I just elbow, because in PA, at amateur, you're not allowed to punch the head on the ground. So I was elbowing him on the one side of the ribs, and I was kneeing him on the other side, and I broke his ribs on both sides, and he tapped to that.
He tapped to, damn. Yeah, PA is a little different, and you still got to wear, I don't know if it's the same now, it's been a while, but shin guard, the shin pads and all that stuff.
Your first 3, you have to do that, but now PA passed its advanced amateur rules, and so you don't have to wear shin guards, and you are allowed to punch to the head on the ground after your 3rd amateur fight.
Ooh, they catching up to Ohio. We went out to Ohio all the time.
Yankee Lake.
Yeah.
He's the commissioner in Ohio now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that guy who ran Yankee Lake, he's now one of the commissioners.
Well, moving on up. Moving on up. What so you got into the fight scene, and for those of you who don't know, I didn't even introduce you, bro. My apologies, man. This is the one with Chris Dempsey, man. If you're from Pittsburgh or anyone or anywhere around here, you know the name. So I gotta throw that out there. You competed in UFC, right?
Yep.
Bellator.
Yep.
How was that? How did you get to that? How did you get to that? Like, were you just hitting the amateurs and shot your shot, or did you get called? Like, how's that work for those who don't know?
They called me, and so you can go pro. Like, there's a lot of pros around here. Like, we have several pros at our gym. Like Patton, Cheyenne, Jake Lowry, Trent Sidarko. And then, Stout, like, Brittany's a pro.
Dude,
as
shout
well.
out to Britt, dude.
They're so you can be pro and not be in the big leagues. It's kind of like the Canadian Football League and the NFL. Like, the UFC is like the NFL, but like everybody else who plays like arena football, you're still getting paid. You're still a pro. It's just not on that level. And so I went on a run. I had won like 8 fights in like a year and a half. And so they had a last-minute replacement fight in Ireland, and it was like 16 days out. And so one of the stipulations was you had to have your passport already. And so I had my passport. They called me, and they went through all my stuff. And I got an email while I was at work. It was Joe Silva. He said, he emailed me, said, "Hey, welcome to the UFC." And that's kind of how it happened. And like 4 days later, I flew over to Ireland. And
hold on, let me get this right. You took a big league fight in 16 days?
Yeah.
16 days notice?
Yeah.
In your weight class?
I bumped up a weight.
You bumped up in 16 days to a big league fight overseas.
Yeah.
You're a wild man.
We were kind of hoping and planning that was going to happen. Back then, Bellator wasn't on the same level as it is right now. It was subpar compared to the UFC.
Up and coming.
Yeah. And so they had offered me a contract about 3 months before that, and we turned it down. Me and Isaac turned it down, and I'll never forget that because in my head I'm like, man, like this was my opportunity. Like I passed up on it, and like Isaac, the most positive person ever, is just like, nope, we made the right decision. We made the right decision. Like relax, everything will like work out right.
Everything plays out usually, man. If you stick to it, it's that relentlessness.
Yep.
Plug. No, that's cool. How was that? Did you have a camp? I mean, I know it's 16 days, but did you do a camp or did you like?
So we were already pretty ready. Like my weight was low because I fought like the weight I should fight at was 185. So we were planning on a last minute replacement fight like that because that's how a lot of people get in. And so my weight was right around 200, and I fought at 205. So going over there, I was already underweight. Like everything for that aspect was pretty easy. And I don't really ever get out of camp even now when I'm just doing the grappling stuff. Like it's like I love doing it. So sometimes I'll like eat some bad food when I know I have a little bit of like time in between, but I'm always working out, so I'm never too far out. And I had like 4 or 5 days before I had to fly over there, so we didn't even have time for a camp. I had to get all my work stuff straight. I had to get all my traveling stuff straight. So, and then when everybody found out that I was going in, like everybody wanted to do an interview here or there, and so I didn't really have time for a camp.
If you stay ready, you never got to get ready, right? Ain't that the saying or something like that? Yeah. Damn. So when you like, is there anything coming up you got going on other than you got any fights coming on, or your fight career? You feel like
fight career is over?
Over?
Yeah, it's just fair. Grappling now.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. Huh? What how's the Mat Factory? I know you're big proponent out over there. How's that going? I'm yet to step foot in there. I want to go to their little. We were talking about the LEO trainings they've put together, which is huge for the area and surrounding area, because I know people coming from 40, 50 minutes away. So how's the Mat Factory? What's the environment like there for those who don't know?
Dogs.
I've heard dogs. Straight dogs.
That's pretty much the best way to describe it. Yesterday, I didn't even realize this, but we were starting practice yesterday, and Isaac was telling everybody there that there was only 4 gyms in the entire Pan Am area that took home more medals than we did. And so we have people in the gym that don't even compete, that are just regular adults, have 9 to 5 and come in there and they'll rip your head off. Like
that's the ones you look out for, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a person in that gym that's not a tough roll. I mean, it's a small room. I think Isaac said yesterday it was 70 by 21 feet. And Isaac went to Pitt Johnstown as well. He was there. He won national championship with them. So we had the same college coach. And we had a really small room up there. 2 years after I graduated, they expanded it by like twice.
Always, that's always how it happens, man.
Ambridge High School built a brand new school after I graduated. Economy Elementary got built right after I left.
It's always like that, bro. I went to Penn State, started at Barron, and they had an all-right business school. And as soon as I graduated, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna put in hundreds of thousands of dollars into this glass building where business and science students could tag along with." I'm like, where was this?
Yeah.
Then where was this when I was going? But
I was watching them build the new high school for my homeroom when I went to school.
One day I will be there. Nah.
But Coach Pecora used to always say, it's not if the room is it's not if the room's big enough for you, it's are you big enough for the room. And so we kind of took that mentality at the Mat Factory, because we are running out of room in there. I mean, everybody comes up on Sundays. Everybody from Stout, everybody from Luz, everybody from Gracie Baja, All American, and it's just kind of like a melting pot up there. And I mean, you're getting the toughest from all those rooms all coming up together on Sunday mornings. And I mean, you make it out of one of those Sunday mornings.
Taking you to church, huh?
Yeah, you're ready.
That's what you got to call it, man. We're going to church, the Mat Factory, to just destroy each other. That's dope, man. Like, because the culture of jiu-jitsu is like everyone's welcome, but
But that's not how it is everywhere.
And that's what I was about to. Yeah, that's not how it is everywhere. It's like at the end of the day, we want everybody to be training and rolling and bettering themselves. Because with jiu-jitsu, if you build your jiu-jitsu game, you build your physical fitness, your health, your mental clarity. Like it all compounds on each other. And when you start doing these little games of, oh, what gym are you out of? Oh, what? It's like, dude, there's some of your guys that I don't even know what their home gym is. They just bounce around, train. Like, and I should know this, but Lucas, I call him Flying Lucas because the dude just like.
Lucas Jones or Lucas Siebert?
So you know what I mean? Both of them, like they're always going from different. And I'm like, is he stout? Is he Matt Factory? Is he this? Is he that? Like,
well, Lucas Jones is us, and Lucas Siebert's was stout.
Jones. Okay, got it. I should know this. I apologize in advance. Yeah, you going to the brawl in the Berg?
I won't be there. That's the day I fly out to Saudi Arabia.
Of course it is. Hey, I mean, what are you expecting over there? What's is there like? Did they give you a layout, or you just like?
They haven't even scheduled our flights. We leave in 15 days. They haven't even given us our flights yet. I guess the UWW, which is the United Wrestling Organization, who oversees like the Olympic wrestling and everything. They're waiting to get paid by the sheik of one of the sheiks from Saudi Arabia. I don't know which one. And then they're going to pay USA Grappling, and then USA Grappling is going to book our flights. But everybody's kind of just like, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Bro, that's wild.
I know.
I got my schedule for 2 weeks down to the brim. Yeah. And you are just like, when a flight comes, it comes. Like, get on and I pound heads.
I mean, I've been traveling so much lately, just for competitions, for work, for everything that. Like I made the joke coming home from Dallas of Pans, and I was like, I should just have a storage locker here because I feel like I'm at the airport so much.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure they're available. What motivates you to keep doing that? Like I mean, especially we'll say in the local area, you've done it all. What keeps your drive? Like, what keeps you hungry to keep training and learning and pushing forward? Like, what is there an end goal for you, or are you just this is just something that fuels you that you're just like, this is something I'll do to the day I die?
So on the competition side, I think what fuels me is losses. So, like, I lost in the state finals, and I lost in my match to All-American my freshman and sophomore year. I lost on like a couple seconds of riding time, and then my senior year, I wanted to win a national title, but I lost in the semis and ended up placing fourth or fifth, something like that. And so I think that's what fuels me to compete is like I want to be the best in the world, but like I've always came up short, whether it's second, whatever. And so I won IBJJF Worlds at purple belt and brown belt, but I took third at black belt. So now it's like I got to win that one. And then the big tournament in jiu-jitsu is ADCCs. So I'm going to trials next weekend, and I'm actually bumping up a weight class just because with everything, all the different tournaments I have coming up, I think it's better for my weight cut there. And also, me and Isaac have been talking about me moving up the weight class anyway just because of my style. My style fits better at that weight class. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm going to do this stuff until I'm dead. But I don't know how long I'll compete for. I'm going to compete until my body says I can't compete anymore. I love to compete, and I like to test myself.
What's a competition mean to you? Like, I know the everyone draws different things from competing. Like, you know, this is something to see where I'm at, to test myself. Like, what's competing mean to you that it continues to be your driving factor? Tough question, man.
Yeah,
you came to the Relentless project, bro. This ain't Channel 5.
So when I was younger, it was just you got to win, and that's still the case. I mean, like I lost last weekend. I'm still not happy about it, and that was almost a week ago. But I think it helps me now in my development as just getting better, learning where I can get better. Like, I mean, I know my front headlocks are some of the best in the world. And if I get there, I feel like I can finish anybody. But what I found out last weekend is everybody else knows that too. And so I have to develop some other attacks and some other offense to either get there or find other ways to win and finish. So I think now it helps me develop and just get better as a martial artist.
Good answer. Good answer.
I'm not as dumb as I look.
I don't think anyone's looked at you and been like, yeah, he's dumb. Is film a big thing in jiu-jitsu competition? Is that a thing? Because I know, like, I'm not a big competitor. I'm more like a hobbyist, and like I take it back to work for self-defense and combatives and add weapons in there. But like, never been a big part of the competition side. Do you guys like study film? Like, is that why you think people are catching on to your style, or is it just?
It's definitely why they're catching on to my style. I don't watch film. I have several people telling me that I probably should, but I've always kind of went into it with a mentality of I'm not worried about what they're gonna do. And Isaac watches film on all the guys I go against, and he'll tell me, hey, this guy's really good in this place, or this guy's really good in that place. And so I'll try to stay away from that area, but I want to focus on what I want to do, and I don't want to worry about what they're going to do, because when I did try to watch film, I found myself second guessing what I was going to do because I was too worried about what they're going to do. So I think it does have a place, and I think it is good. And depending on the style that you learn, and depending on the style of thought process you have, like, we all think different. We all have different personality traits. But I think it does have a place, and I do think it's a good thing. But also, if you watch too much film and you rely too much on, hey, this guy's going to do this, this, and this, then, okay, what about what you're supposed to do? What about what you are good at? And focus on the things that you're good at. Yeah, there's a couple things you have to watch out for, but other than that, it doesn't matter what their game plan is.
You almost start anticipating things that you shouldn't anticipate. Yeah, no, it makes sense, because in football, I played high school football. We would watch film, and we'd play a team, and they hit screens, right? So as a corner, what was I anticipating? A screen, and then
one
they
right
hit,
over the top.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, play to your environment. Go in with like conscious of what they may do, but more inner focused.
And I think that comes with confidence too. Like, if you're second guessing what you're supposed to do or what you're gonna do, or you don't believe in the things that your coach is teaching you or that that you're good at, I think that's you're kind of using film as a little bit of a crutch in that sense.
Wow, yeah, I can see that. And with jiu-jitsu, everyth's so dynamic.
Yes,
like it can change. Like, especially I don't mean to laugh, but like I find it funny when I see the videos of like a dude who gets a lock in, right, and then the other guy or chick's like, oh no, I'm good here, and they continue to try to do what they were gonna do, and then they fall asleep.
Yeah, because
they've ignored that. They're like, no, they're so hyper focused on doing what they were supposed to do.
Yeah,
and then it lights out.
Well, and I see that, like, now I'm on the coaching side of MMA now, and so I see that a lot with like newer fighters or even seasoned fighters when they're in practice. Like, they want to know, what move do I have to do right here, or what combination do I have to throw right here? And it honestly, it doesn't matter. If you're in a good defensive position and you know the feel that you have in those positions, I mean, you could throw whatever combination you want as long as you're defensively safe. And so they want to know, like, a script of do this, when you have to worry about your defensive position and be able to be dynamic off of that position.
Oh, yeah. You got to be able to adapt. Yes. and overcome. Such is life, right? Like, yeah. We always have a goal. Well, Tyson's famous, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? Yep. That's the second time this quote's come up, so take note. But yeah, like that, we can apply that to life. Like, we this is my goal. I'm going to do everything to get to this goal. And then we're so hyper fixed on this goal or hyper focused. And then something happens. And then our whole world is in shambles because now that impedes this is when in reality, that thing that happened to you, if you can adapt and overcome to it, maybe it puts you in a new trajectory. Maybe it actually sends you forward on that. So, dude, I love applying jiu-jitsu to life.
Yep.
It is so... I thought I was, like, disciplined and good mindset until I started jiu-jitsu. And then, like, everything just starts falling into place. And I'm like, wow, dude, jiu-jitsu's changed my life. It really has.
Wrestling is even more.
Dude, wrestling is a bunch of savages and dogs who don't have class. No, I'm kidding, dude. I hate going against a wrestler, man, because jiu-jitsu's like, we're there, we're rolling, we're flowing, we're technique, and then I get with a wrestler and he's just like, I want your blood. Yeah, I want your blood. And I'm like, all right, bro, gotta change it up a little bit now.
But I mean, like a lot of the stuff that a lot of the like issues or problems that I've had in my life that like a lot of people wouldn't have came back from. Like it's wrestling that's helped me like adapt to a lot of that. I mean, I think about some of the stuff that I've went through and had to go through, problems in my life, and I know a lot of other people that would just be like, "Oh, this is terrible," and they would just fold. But a lot of those problems and things that I had to go through have led me to where I am right now, and I'm happy where I am right now. I couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, man, dude, you're doing great things. You're killing it in the things you want to be doing, and that like we attribute what is success. I ask that a lot. Like, what does success mean to you? When someone says, "Are you successful?" What is your answer?
If you could pay your bills and you're happy doing what you're doing, I think that's success.
Dude, you took the words out of my mouth. People think success like I gotta be a billionaire, I gotta be a millionaire, it's like, dude, for example, if I could make a living out of talking to people, I love talking to people, bro. Like, I've seen you in passing many times. We've kind of had like little conversations and stuff. And I've had more conversations with people about you than I've had with you, if that makes sense. And, this has afforded me the opportunity to sit here and chat with you. Like, that's if I can make a living out of doing something I love, is successful. I love policing, man. It's just something I do. It's what I do. I love helping people. I love helping people come to answers and all that stuff. I love jiu-jitsu. Like, all these things I'm doing, dude, that's success. That's success to me.
Yeah.
We get so, but also I want more. You always want more.
We always want more.
Yeah. Shit, but no, that's a good answer about success. What things have you pulled from jiu-jitsu to help you accomplish, like, or wrestling? You say would you say you're more a bigger wrestler, or I know you compete in jiu-jitsu, but wrestling has a huge foundation in your game, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends on what day it is. Tuesday, I'm a wrestler. Monday and Wednesday, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy.
Dangerous dudes, and I hate dudes like you in the gym, man. You're like, is he gonna pull out some funny stuff, or is he just gonna wrestle me?
I've been trying to like pull guard and play the underneath game like lately, just to develop that side of things, because I mean, I'm fine. If I'm on top, I'm fine. Like I'm not worried about it. So I want to, just like I said, like I had lost at Pans, I have to start developing some other stuff, and like I want to start developing some of my underneath game and everything like that. And I've been working on it for about a year now. And
do you invert?
I can't invert. I'm not that flexible.
Yeah, me either. Yeah. Every time Logan comes, he's like, "Oh, we're working on inverts." I'm like, "How?"
And he's a big dude to be
like,
inverted.
He'll just be on his back, like, "We're gonna do this," and I'm like,
"Yeah,
I can't do it. I can't do it."
We were doing leg lock. We were doing heel hook defense on Monday, and I was drilling with Cheyenne, and she's like, "Your leg is so hard to bend." She's like, "I can't bend your leg." I was like, "It doesn't bend. I don't know what you're talking about."
That's good. Hypomobility may be a good thing in jiu-jitsu too. Like, I know if someone like starts to go for a shoulder lock, dude, if I don't defend it immediately, like you don't even have to put it in. It's already hurting.
Yeah.
Because I have no mobility. What you said you're into coaching. You're coaching a lot now. What are some things you're getting from that? Because I think, like, especially in like my line of work, if you can teach something,
you know it way better.
You learn it so much better. Like you apply it, adapt it so much better. What has coaching helped you with in your personal life or in your game?
So, I mean, I got to start coaching with Jody at Young Guns when I was in college. Yeah, Young Guns is like, I don't know if you're familiar with Young Guns. They're the best high school club in the country. I mean, and Jody Stripmatter, he was our assistant coach in college. Him and Eric Juergens started that back when they were wrestling in Iowa, and so it was still pretty new when we were in college, and so we would always help him coach. So I got to start to learn how to coach really early in my career, but it really helped me break down the parts of the move that you do unconsciously. And so if you can teach something, you're going to start developing how to do it better, because you're going to be like, oh man, I was messing that part up. I didn't even realize I was messing it up because I was doing it unconsciously. But then when you teach it to somebody, you have to be aware of all those parts of it, because if you teach it just the way you think about it, then everyone's going to be like, how did you do that?
How did you come to that conclusion? Yeah.
It really helps you develop your technique a lot better.
So I believe in like principle-based learning and a lot of jiu-jitsu has turned into that, but like, is that something you push when you coach? Like,
yes.
Like this is the principle. You can get there 1,000 ways. I'm going to show you a way. Or are you like, because there's some people who are like very technique, like this is the technique. This is how you do it.
That.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and they both work, you know.
Right,
like it depends on your student and whatever. Because like we just did a DT class for our department, and like I always say, this is not the way. This is a way.
Yeah.
You will get punched in the face still, as long as you remain conscious and alert. You may get hit. Like this isn't punch proof. Nothing is. Right. And if you find something that is, market it, because you're gonna be rich as hell. But and then one of the guys was like, yo, you know what's crazy about this is like, in doing it that way, I can go so many other ways. And it's like, dude, that's exactly what, like, without me saying that, it's exactly what I wanted you to come to the conclusion of.
Right. Like,
this is a way to do it, but the principle is, isolate this arm. Like, that's the principle.
That's how I like to coach, because everybody has different abilities. Everybody has a different thought process of how to do things. So if you can teach the concept or the principle, however you want to say it, if you get the concept across, then that person's own individual style and technique can kind of take over, as long as the concept and the principle is correct. What's
your style? What's your? You say you got. What's your grappling style? What would you call your grappling style?
Heavy pressure.
I'm very fond of that style.
I like to try to rip your head off.
Are you like more aggressive? Do you usually start off more aggressive, or do you wait to feel it out and then turn it up? Like,
no,
not to give out your strategy for.
I mean, there's enough matches on Flow now that everybody knows what I'm doing. Like, it's no secret. Like, I'm gonna try to snap your head down and rip it off. Like, that's my style. And like, even when I was wrestling in college, so it was funny because Coach McCoy used to always say, like, he's coming at you like it's a fight. And he used the analogy of Jack Dempsey, because when I would come in and I would hand fight with people, like, I was hand fighting hard and people didn't really want to be in there. And that was against a wrestler. Against a jiu-jitsu guy, they really don't want to be in there because they're not used to that wrestling pressure. So I that's the style that I use, and I need to start developing some other more I guess flowy kind of things to do to complement.
Be like water.
Yeah.
What are some memorable fights or memorable matches are there anything that still lives in your head? Like something that, like for example, me, dude, I remember I was in 7th grade and a dude kicked me out of my treehouse that I had built. And I think about that fight every time, bro. I don't know why. Like, anytime I'm like, pissed. And like, I think of that fight because it was so disrespectful. Like, I built this whole fucking thing, and this older kid just kicked me out. I put the bricks to him, bro. Like, I remember, I think of it when I'm like, I need to chill, like, because that was a bad moment. Or I think of it like, I need to rip this dude's head off, and I put myself back in that position. So, like, that applies. And I know it sounds dumb, but, like, we think of stuff that motivates us or de-escalates us. Like, do you have any fights that you think of that live rent-free in your head?
So one recently, at ADCC trials last year, I was going against a guy, and I came in with that heavy head pressure, and because I thought he was going to wrestle me. He was supposed to be a wrestler, and I've talked to him since. He was actually tried out for the USA grappling team as well. So I talked to him out there, and he's supposed to be a wrestler. He's supposed to be the best jiu-jitsu wrestler, this and that. And so I thought he was going to come out and wrestle me. I was pumped about it. He comes out, he pulls guard, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I came in heavy with the heavy head pressure. He hit elbow pass, took my back, and he beat me. And I think about if I wouldn't have came in so hard with that heavy head pressure and I would have used a little bit more technique, I could have won that match, I think, pretty easily. But
were you mind fucked?
No.
Like, were you like, when he pulled guard, were you like, damn?
I was surprised because I was very surprised just because I had watched his previous match because it was a 2-day tournament. My match was done, so I knew I had the winner of this next match. So I was watching them, and I was like, oh, awesome! I'm gonna go against somebody who's a wrestler. Like, I believe my wrestling is better than his. And then as soon as he just sat down, I was like, didn't expect this.
Christianed you.
Yeah, he did. But I was like, that's fine. Like, I kind of got a little bit overconfident, I would say, because if you have a wrestler who pulls guard, they're usually not that good at guard. Like, I know if I pull guard, I'm in a huge disadvantage compared to if I'm on my feet. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go right into it. And he had an elbow pass and used my own momentum against me.
He baited you, bro.
He
I think
did.
that's what it was.
I think he did.
Yeah, he baited you. What you from Ambridge?
Yeah.
What advice? Because we mentioned earlier, the fight scene is blowing up right now, man. There's so many, like you said, pros that people don't even know about, and then amateurs coming up through the ranks. Like, what advice do you have for people trying to break into that? Like, make this a living, make this their thing, make this what they want to be doing. Like, because you coming from Ambridge, bro, fighting in the UFC and Bellator, that's a huge deal. I mean, you may not see it like that. It's a big deal, man. Like you said, that's the big leagues. That's what people who train and are on fight teams, like, that's what they aspire to do. Like, you don't join a fight team for fun. That's something like you've made the conscious decision of, this is my path and this is where I'm going. What advice would you have for people like that?
Don't let other people kill what you want to do. When I was coming up, and I got right out of college, I got a graduate assistant offer from a school in North Carolina to get my law degree for free. All I had to do was coach wrestling, and I said no. I turned it down because I wanted to stay with Carlton and I wanted to fight. And I don't know how many people told me I was an idiot for doing that. And then as I was working construction during the day and fighting at night, everybody was like, well, you have a college degree now. You're like, what are you doing this for? You're an idiot. And like, I got called an idiot a lot of times. And I got told that I was doing the wrong things and that I didn't have to do that. And I remember one of my family members actually said that my grandpa didn't like that I was fighting, and I'm really close with my grandpa before he passed, like really, really close. And they said that he didn't work in a steel mill his whole life to watch me have to start over from the bottom. And that was like right around the time that he had passed. And that kind of messed with me for a while. That's tough, man. Yeah.
No, and like, you almost wonder if they were just doing that to like hope to steer you in the right path or if they're just like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of those people had bad intentions, but when people tell you that you're dumb for doing what you're doing and following your dreams or whatever, however you want to say it, when they're telling you their limitations, they're not telling you your limitations. So I know there's some people in certain situations where, like, I mean, if you have a kid or you have a family and you got to pay the bills, that's fine. Like, you have to do what you have to do to make it. But I'm a single dude. Like, I don't have very many responsibilities. So if you tell me that I'm an idiot for doing what I'm doing, that just means you were too afraid to follow your own dreams.
Yeah, damn. Even if you do have like people,
you can make it work no matter what.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, people use kids and this, like, and I get it, man. It's tough. I have a kid myself. It's tough. It's hard. But at the end of the day, like, if you want to do something, you are the only person in control of doing it.
And if you have a kid and you're not doing what you love and you're making excuses for that, what are you teaching that kid? That you're basically teaching that kid it's okay to quit.
Yeah, or not even start.
Yeah,
it's okay to just push it off.
Yeah.
Wow. No, that's good stuff, man. When they were telling you, like, what kept you going? Because like you said, man, your grandfather meant a lot to you. To hear that should, I mean, that could push off a lot of people. That could deter you from continuing going. What kept you? What made you go? You know what? Just double down.
I'm a pretty stubborn guy.
No.
No, I was a lot of that. Like, a lot of me being stubborn. I like to prove people wrong. Like, if you don't want to see me succeed, don't tell me. Because if you tell me that I can't do something, I'm going to go do it. Like, my sister told me one time, she said, I just stopped second guessing you at one point because every time I did, you just did it anyway. And I was like, oh.
That's like the biggest compliment, man. That's kind of a flex. Like, I ain't even going to say nothing.
Yeah, she's just like, go. Whatever. If you say you're going to do it, I'll just say, okay.
So keep going. When would you say there's ever a moment where you're like, hey, you should probably give this up? For let's say, without naming them, let's say you got like someone under you who's like, I want to be a fighter. I want to be a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, is there a moment where you're like, hey, dude, like, this probably isn't for you? Or do you always push someone like, hey, if that's what you want to do, go for it?
So I think it's situational. And what I mean is, so if somebody's all in, then you don't know how far they can go. But if somebody's already making excuses and somebody's already second guessing themselves, then that might be a time for them to have that conversation of, are you really in for this? Because, I mean, I wasn't the best athlete, like, coming out of Ambridge. There was plenty of people that were better than me on a wrestling team, better than me in a football team, whatever. But I was all in, and that's the only reason I made it. Because if I wasn't all in, I wouldn't have made it. I don't have that natural athletic ability to do that. And so you don't ever know how far somebody can go. But if they're saying, I can't do this because I have to do this, or I got this conflict of schedule, like, that might be a time where you start having that conversation of, is this for you or not? Because it's a fight, and yeah, it's a sport, but at the end of the day, you're locked in a cage, fist fighting somebody.
Bro, I have the utmost respect for fighters, bro. Like, because you're willingly locking yourself in this box or this cage, and you're willingly going to blows with another man or woman whose goal is to destroy you.
Either knock you out or submit you.
Like, destroy you.
Yeah.
They're not coming in here to, like, hopefully no. Like, you're looking at the other person, attempting to end them, and they are doing the same thing to you. And if you can apply that mindset, bro, to anything in life, and that's why I attribute, like, if you train, and training can be jiu-jitsu, wrestling, the gym, and I don't mean exercise, which that's good. I mean, nothing against that. Like, if you're going and treating the gym as an exercise, cool. Like, that's better than the person who's sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Yeah.
When I mean train, I mean, like, You go to the gym and you have a primary focus, and you're doing like, and it also attributes to things outside the gym. You can't go to the gym and train for 2 hours and then go eat like shit and then do bad habits outside. That's going to take away everything you've done. When I mean train, I mean like people who are hyper focused on whatever their sport is.
It's a lifestyle.
It is. It's a lifestyle. I have the utmost respect for that, because if you can take those disciplines that you've established, and I've talked about this a lot, you take these disciplines that you've established in your sport, in the thing you do, and apply it to every facet of your life, you will see success. It may not be immediate. You will see success. If you stick it through, if you are relentless in your approach, success will come. Yeah. Whatever that success is for you, it will come.
And it's different levels for everybody.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, like and that's where you have to be honest with yourself. And so I never thought that I would be able to make it to the UFC. When I first started off, I was like, oh well, I mean, I don't know, like I wasn't even the best athlete in my high school. So my buddy Jake told me the one time, he's like, you're basically doing, it's like, hey, this is the toughest guy from our town, this is the toughest guy from your town, and you guys are gonna fight each other, but you're just doing it on a way bigger scale. And I thought about it when he said that. He probably told me that 10 years ago, but I always think about that now, even to this day. I'm like, that's kind of cool to even think about, but that's really what it is. But you have to have different like levels of success. And some people might not be able to get to that level ever. But if you don't have an honest conversation with yourself, then you're always going to be trying to get there and never being able to get there. And it's a slippery slope, I guess you could say, because you don't want to sell somebody short. But if you say, like, if you set a couple goals, like, hey, I want to win this next fight, or hey, I want to be the number whatever ranked in the state and in the area, but you have to have goals along the way. That can be your end goal, but some people, like, a lot of it is luck. Like, if I didn't have my passport, I wouldn't have got that fight in Ireland. Like, that's luck. And
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, the training has to be there, the preparation has to be there, or you can't be lucky. But some people are not going to get that same piece of luck that I got. And so you have to have goals along the way, so that you're not just like, oh, I didn't get to this one goal that was completely like at the top, so everything was a waste.
Attainable goals, digestible goals.
Mm.
I spoke about this, little wins.
Yeah.
Like, that's what those little goals end up being. If you can compound little wins, like that big goal, that big win, you have a higher probability of achieving that. And
nobody's gonna know those little goals. Like Coach McCoy used to say, you have to win 1,000 invisible gold medals until you get to the goal you want. And my buddy Shane has a gym out in Murraysville. It's called Silent Victory, and you have to have all those little silent victories, or those invisible gold medals, that you have to win those before you can win the one that everybody can see. And with our society the way it is right now, with Instagram and Facebook and everything, everybody wants to put everything out there. Like, oh, hey, I just killed this workout. Well, nobody needs to know that. Like, shut up. Like, I work in silence.
Posting on.
But you can't just be like, look at me all the time.
No, that makes sense, man. Like, silent victories lead to the loud. Yeah. Dude. And those little goals can be, I've said this before too. You set your alarm for 4 a.m. to work out, and then you wake up and you snooze it because you need that 5 minutes of sleep that's going to change your life.
Yep.
You just lied to yourself. You just failed your first goal that you set.
There was a guy, his son was wrestling for Young Guns when I was coaching there, and we were talking the one time, and he was like kind of making a joke because his wife sets like 15 alarms, and I was like 19 or 20 at the time, so I did the same thing. And he's like, I set one alarm, and I wake up to that alarm. He goes, you don't need the rest of them. He said, you're just kidding yourself with all the rest of the alarms. Set one and just wake up whatever time you need to wake up. And he said that. It took me a couple years to do it, but that's what I do now. It's just like, why set the alarm if you're going to snooze it?
Yeah, so I used to do that too. And I got so frustrated with myself because I would end up being late to like the gym, and now I'm rushing the gym. So now my gym routine's not good. So now I'm like staying a little later than I should, which is now affecting the next thing I got to do. And it just puts you in this like turmoil of like misery.
Yeah.
And I started applying like that principle of like, I'm going to set one alarm, and when I hear it, I'm shooting out of bed. And it's funny because if you see me when I wake up in the morning at 4 a.m., bro, I'm like Frankenstein. The alarm goes off, and I swing my feet over, and I sit on the edge of the bed. And I do it so fast that I'm not even awake yet. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, why am I up? What time is it? Oh, it's 4. Oh, I got to go to the gym because I work at 7. Okay. And like then everything starts coming in. But if you do that, you're not going to go back to sleep because you just like, you just jump started yourself.
I had to start myself off doing it, I would plug my phone in across the room so that I had to get up.
That's how I started, dude. That's funny. On the MagSafe across the room, so I'd have to get up.
And you're just like, oh, I'm already up. I might as well just do it.
That is funny. Dude, that works, though.
It does.
And I've seen, like, different devices online, like on Instagram. Like, I'm rolling on Instagram, and it'll be like an alarm clock where you have to, like, get the little gun and shoot a target and hit it across the room. Like you have to have mental acuity.
Yeah.
You have to be awake in order to do this.
Because, like, if you just roll over and hit the snooze or whatever, like, you could fall right back asleep to that.
Oh, or you do it while you're still sleeping. You just, boom, and then your body hasn't even woken up all the way yet. And then you're like, oh, I missed my alarm. No, you snoozed your alarm. You didn't miss it. You disregarded it.
I've done that where I snoozed it so much that I thought that it didn't go off. And then I, like, woke up and looked at it, and I'm like, 2 hours late, like
that's the worst
feeling,
man.
You're like freaking out about it,
dude. You're hard, and then you're awake.
Yeah,
and then you're up.
Yeah,
like if you just had that same mindset 2 hours earlier.
If you could get that adrenaline shot from the beginning, that'd be.
Dude, give me that before any match, before anything, dude. But that is the worst feeling when you set that alarm. And then, you wake up and you're like, man, I beat the alarm this time. And you look and boom.
Yeah.
Late. You're like, fuck.
The worst is like when you're supposed to wake up and it's dark and you wake up and it's light outside and you're like, before you look at anything, you're in trouble.
My heart's racing right now. Man, what do you see yourself doing any goals these next couple let's say couple weeks, months, and then years? Where do you see yourself in a couple years in this game? Like,
so I'd like to my goals for the rest of this month are to win trials to qualify for ADCCs next weekend, and then also to win the championship in Saudi Arabia. And that's like Saudi Arabia is basically like one step below the Olympics. There's like 17 different sports over there that are going to be going on at the same time. And most of them are Olympic sports. And so USA Grappling and the whole UWW is trying to get grappling into the Olympics in 2028. So,
dude, that would be fire.
I'd be 40 in 2028. So,
Was it the Masters? You'd be in the
no, it's all just one division. So, I would like to have that be like, if I could make it to the Olympics in 2028 and win, that would be kind of like a great way to end my grappling career at 40.
Wow. Where can people watch that? Like, if people want to follow you for, the ADCC, or like, where can people?
So ADCC will be on Flow.
Flow Grappling's an app for those of you who don't know.
But I honestly, I don't even know my travel plans to go over to Saudi Arabia. I have no idea where that's going to be float.
Just follow him on Instagram. I'm sure you'll get it all. Are you? I gotta ask this question because this is a jiu-jitsu day-age-old question: gi or no gi?
I mean, I gotta go no gi.
Yeah, I figured.
I
don't know why I asked, but
I'm a wrestler.
Are you against the gi?
So I was for the longest time, but then going over to Poland, they had both gi and no gi for the tournament, and so I was just gonna do no gi, and then the guy from USA Grappling called and was like, "Hey, we don't have anybody from our team in your weight class to do gi. Would you be willing to do gi?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
It's the same thing,
And
just more grips.
so I trained it for like 3-4 weeks to go over there and do gi, which I know is not nearly long enough, but
You're just diving head first into all this shit. It's
whatever.
crazy.
I mean, whatever. And but I kind of started to like it after like training it for a little bit. I mean,
You hear that? Everyone shits on me. I love the gi, man. I love the gi because one, I can cheat. If I grip your gi, you're mine. I own you.
yeah, it's hard. And that's what I started to like is like if I can get a collar grip and like I have good grips and I just don't know I didn't know how to use them at first.
Same, still. But if I grab your collar, you're going. Where the head goes, the body follows,
Yeah.
right? So I grab it nice, high, and tight, and then I take you where I need you to go.
Yeah.
And then I just try to figure it out and hope I don't get gassed or destroyed on the way.
I was getting caught at first with a lot of like loop chokes because I'd never seen them before because I never rolled in a gi.
They're sneaky.
But
They're
then
sneaky.
I figured out how to untie them, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad at all.
They are sneaky, man. Or Ezekiel's, dude. People love bringing those out of fucking nowhere. Where did those come from?
I like doing that. Is that Russian guy that does them all the time in UFC.
I
That's
feel
where
like
it came from.
Is it? Because
Yeah.
I feel like never had to defend it, and then one day I go to the gym and I'm like, why the fuck does this keep happening to me? Like it's just popping out of nowhere.
I found this new choke. I was down in Costa Rica last January, and Sean Williams and Daniel Gracie were doing a seminar down there that we took, and Daniel Gracie showed me this new choke. It's from it's from Mount, and when you have the what the heck is that called when you have the arm around? I don't know, but
I'm not good with names, bro.
Me neither. Everybody who knows me at the gym is going to be laughing because I call everything the wrong thing right now. I'm just like, you just do this. But
what is this? Just do it, bro.
Yeah,
just do it.
Just put your hand right here. Like I don't know what it's called.
You gotta Wilkins grab this.
But it's very similar to a Ezekiel choke, and I was like, I like it. I mean, it completely crushes your throat. It crushes everything.
Can't breathe, you can't compete, right? That's the premise. Damn, that's fucking violent. I love it. You're gonna have to post it on your Instagram. Do a tutorial, bro, so I can steal it. Let's just blow it up before you can even use it.
Like I don't know what this is called, but this is it.
This is called the Dempsey choke. You
Well,
gotta change one thing to it though. So
Isaac did, or not. Well, it was actually John Mulgrave. The move that I always use, they actually named that choke after me. I refuse to call it that, but they named it after me, so I can't do.
Is it weird?
It is. It's weird.
People, what do they call it? The Dempsey, whatever.
They call it. So John Mulgrave calls it the Dempseycutioner.
Oh damn!
But I won't. I refuse to call it that. I just
did. I got it on video, bro, and audio. The Dempseycutioner.
You set me up.
I'm gonna have to see what that is. It sounds dangerous.
I did a finishers match when Renee Souza was doing was reffing, and I hit it in the match, and he like called it out, and I started laughing because like it's just weird to hear from me.
He actually like narrated it.
Well, yeah, like when he announced like that I won, and he announced it I won by that, and I started cracking up like right in the middle of it.
Hey, you know you made it when you're getting moves named after you.
But the thing about it is, it was a move that Fitz showed me when I was 7 years old in wrestling. I just adapted it to choke people out.
That's a lot of the moves in jiu-jitsu and stuff now. Like they've been, you make it your way, and it works for you, and then it becomes a Dempsexecutioner. I need something to be the Ishinator. Can someone create something for me, please? Big, not mobile. So take that. Any final thoughts for people listening, man? Like you've hit some cool ass shit, man. Like you've said some hard points that I think people are gonna take away. Like especially people in the fight. Like, I know it's a very niche-y. We're just gonna call this the fight series because you're here. I had Lou. I'm about to have Warren. I call him OG Warren. I'm about to have Brett. Brett agreed to come on. Appreciate you, Brett. Like I'm just gonna go through the whole Stout and Matt factory. I'm trying to have both Lucases on here. Might as well. We're gonna call it the fight series. But any final thoughts for people?
It's just do what you want to do. Like do what you love to do. I mean, there's gonna be somebody who says something negative about everything you do, whether it's getting a job, getting married, having kids, or going and playing a sport for your whole life and being a little kid. I mean, somebody's gonna have something negative to say. Don't even worry about it.
Just stay true to yourself. Yeah. Like honestly, like if you keep it real with yourself, you keep it real with everybody else. Fuck everything else. As a wise man once said, YOLO. Right? Well, I appreciate you for coming out, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
This is the one with Chris Dempsey, and we're out, bro. Thanks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to The Relentless Project. Ish Lopez grew up in the heart of the inner city, but he managed to build multiple income streams, join the ranks of law enforcement, and dive into countless ventures, all thanks to the incredible relationships he forged along the way. And now his passion is to share those stories with you. Make sure to connect with us on social media. Find Ish on Twitter and Instagram at The Ish Lopez, and the show at Relentless PRJCT. We're on all the major streaming platforms, from Spotify to Apple Podcast and Google Podcast, and wherever you like to catch your favorite shows. See you next time on The Relentless Project.